all surgery is harm. Just harm in service of a greater good.
Hold still now.
What's in that?
What do you care?
It's going in my arm, man.
That's right. It's going in, whatever it is. Now hold still.
All right. Hi, guys. My name
Hi.
is Shannon from
Hi,
Creepy
Shannon.
Kingdom. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I love the show, so I'm very excited to talk about it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course. So, obviously, the show is rooted in all these themes of like control and trauma and rebellion. So, for you guys, what drew you to this project and how did you connect with your characters?
Well, I mean, for me, it was just another audition that came along. You know, it was my agent said, you know, this is a Stephen King, and I was like, oh my god, okay. And you know, who doesn't love the work of Stephen King? You know, there's no higher caliber author currently, is there? So it's, you know, it would be a privilege to even tape. But yeah, I loved because I only got a few scenes for the audition, but it was really well written. Like there was you could tell that these characters were going to be amazing. Like you felt you knew a lot about them just even in the little scenes that I was sent, you know.
Yeah.
I think the idea of like contributing your you know sort of small offering to the Stephen King cinematic universe, like when you've grown up with all, you know, when you've grown up with his books and the extraordinary, you know, there's probably not another author that has been adapted so brilliantly and successfully over 30 years than Stephen King. And I think most people probably have a Stephen King adaptation in their top 10 movies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think to be able to be a part of that, you know, one of his worlds, of which he lives in many, I'm sure, but someone who's sort of so carefully deliberated over characters and thinks so carefully about what purpose any particular character serves within a story, like you said, to represent various kind of traumas or a character who's there to stand up for what's right in the face of kind of like unchecked authority or you know, and as allegory for like what's going on in our very chaotic world. I think that he's always been a truth sayer in that way, Stephen King, and so that translates and that filters down hopefully into the scripts and then hopefully into the performances, and people can feel something that's honest about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys did such a great job. So you really were able to take those characters and make them your own. Did you kind of feel a certain pressure or responsibility stepping into this story, knowing that it's Stephen King and he's done all these worlds, like you were saying, for like 30 years?
Yeah.
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 I really did. Yeah. It was at the table read for one, and I did not want to speak out loud until this lovely man made me feel more comfortable. But you know, like someone coming in, like, you know, you would look at Jack and Ben Cavell and why would they trust someone who's inexperienced as me? You know, it really, you know, you play around in your head of like, am I what they think I am? You know, like, do I have this in me? You know, there's always going to be scared feelings for sure. And yeah, just knowing of the caliber of what it is.
But next time, the next thing that you get in that way, you won't be intimidated in the same way, will you?
Hopefully not. We will see.
Because we had the whole crew. You know, we had the whole crew within the first week was like, who's this kid?
Oh,
He's so, and you're rooting for him as well. You've got that about you as a person as well. You just want him to do well, and you want him to succeed. So I think that really helps in this kind of character. But I think anytime you do an adaptation, I've been so lucky to do quite a lot of book to film adaptations, and you know, whether it's Stephen King or Oscar Wilde.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yes, yes. Guillermo del Toro did do I think a book with some little stories in it before. But whenever there's a novel, that that you can go back to. There's this sort of added pressure that this world exists with or without you. Whereas when you get a script, it doesn't really exist, and when it's something new, it doesn't really exist until you put it out in the world, and so you're the author of that character. Whereas when there's a novel, the characters exist in people's minds already, and so you're having to challenge those that whatever that archetype is they might have.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. You were both terrific. Obviously, they brought you on because they thought you were talented, so duh. But you guys did so great, and I can't wait for everybody to see the show, and I will be telling everyone about it.
Thank you very much.
I have this dream, and I'm standing on the edge of an abyss, and it's full of all the things I don't know. And, well, I guess an abyss can't be full, so I'll call it a chasm. But it's bottomless. And there's a bridge, and I want to walk across that bridge and raise my hands, and then all the things from the darkness will come floating up.
Thank you guys so much for speaking with me today.
Oh, thank you.
It's our pleasure, and I see you surrounded by so much wonderful, creepy memorabilia.
Yeah,
which
it's
we
great.
can't see. But
Horror fan.
I love it.
well, given our world these days, horror is a good thing. Yeah.
So, with obviously you guys know with Stephen King, there's always this fine line between horror but also heartbreak. How did you approach? Yeah, how did you approach balancing that, the emotional core of Luke's story with the more disturbing sci-fi horror elements?
Well, just to start quickly, when I first read it, before I had the good fortune of connecting with Ben and having him join me in this adventure. For me, when I read the book, the Parkland school massacre had occurred. And I remember watching those kids who came out of that tragedy and survived, the ones who did, and said to the adults and the politicians, get out of our way. We know how to fix this. You screwed it up. We're going to take care of ourselves. And for me, that became the heart and soul of the show. It's like children shall inherit the earth, but first we have to save themselves. Well, but first they have to save themselves. And that to me and Ben was very much the heart of the show. And then, of course, casting characters and spending enough time with them, hanging out and being kids, that you not only relate to them, but care about them and then how they come together as their own group to escape this horrifying world.
Yeah, it was very important to us that the show, you're right. Obviously, Stephen King, it's always a balance, but that the show never veer into sadistic or gratuitous, right? That the horror be horrific, because it is, but that we balance that with the idea that, well, for one thing, the show, part of the show has a sort of great escape, like a World War II kind of POW movies were to an extent a touchstone for us, certainly in the writer's room, because part of it is, and part of what I think is so great about the book is that, yes, it's horrific and there are these awful things going on, but you also understand that there is this building toward triumph, right? Of the kids taking responsibility for trying to get themselves out of this situation. And that's pretty magical and a testament to King, obviously, but we wanted to do right by that.
What do you think horror fans are going to be most surprised about with this, as opposed to other Stephen King adaptations?
Well, I think this show is both a thriller and horror, in many ways. And I think that an adult and yet a teenage audience can relate to it on the same level. So it's not just going to be screaming and yelling and throwing popcorn at blood and guts. Nothing wrong with that. And Stephen writes that better than anybody. He writes what's under our bed that scares us at night that we can't see, right? Better than anybody ever has. At the same time, I think that our show is something that people are going to hook into and relate to in a way and cheer. And what if this were me?
Yeah.
I think the what if is essential for all horror, all thriller, all suspense. What if I ended up there? What if I ended up in Fromtown? You know, what if I ended up, my kid, my friend, at the Institute? You know, and I think that there's going to be a lot of that, and
I agree. I mean, Jack says, or Jack has said to me before, and I repeat it all the time, that, you know, part of the magic of Lost was nobody wants to be in a plane crash and then marooned on some tropical island. But if you had to be, you would want to be marooned here with these people. And I've taken the attitude that nobody wants to be kidnapped in the middle of the night and brought to the Institute.
Right.
But if you had to be, you would want to be here at
With
this
them.
Institute with this group.
Yeah.
So that was our goal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for everyone to see this. I thought it was great. So
That's
great.
so.
Thank you.
And you being
you being a constant reader is
yes. Sword for thank you so much, and bang the drum.
I will.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day.
Thank you, Shannon.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsors and Patreon producers for making this video possible. Hit the subscribe button so the creepy fun never has to end. This is Hannah reminding you to keep it creepy.